Alright, what's up guys? Thanks for joining me for my tips video. I'm going to start this up real quick in the replay. This is a replay. I have 2 matches saved because I played against the devs. Now these are not my best matches at all. I was in a transition phase. I have been recently and I just lost where I was. I was really confident in my playstyle and I was doing really good. And then I started transitioning and I started playing really badly because that's what happened. As you learn, you learn new tricks and you learn that you can do different things, and then you kind of just mess everything up because you lose the balance. Well, for me anyways, I've lost my balance and then I got it back because I realized what I was doing wrong. I realized I was pushing too hard. I was doing things the new way rather than mixing it in with the old way as well. So I was trying a whole new gameplay, or new game style, a new play style without using it in my old play style. So it kind of threw me off for quite a bit. I learned some new stuff. I could play a little bit better here in this one area, but I was doing badly because I was messing up in all my other normal areas. Anyway, so I've got 3 matches saved as replays on Rocket League on PC because I do this queue thing where I queue up for solo queue 3v3 as well as regular 3s in the hopes that I might meet a team that might be like, hey, do you want to join us? Hasn't happened yet. Not a big deal though. But I ended up in this 3v3 normal queue versus devs only, and I got to go against them twice, and I was so excited. I played I didn't play my best. It was terrible. It was in between a transition, and I was also just like so excited just to be playing with devs. I was like, oh my gosh, All 3 of them are devs. There's Psionics Adam and Psionics Eric, I believe is what they are, and then the other guy is Bubble something. I can't read his name right now. I don't know if there should be a scoreboard at the end of the match. But he's also a developer, and you can tell because their name, underneath their name in the scoreboard, it says developer. So I was so excited to face him not only once, but twice. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so cool. So so for my tips video, I thought I would do a, just show the matches that we did versus the devs. So none of these clips here will be specific to the tips that I have. I just wanted to talk in general about playing Rocket League and offer some advice maybe that should be useful. We'll see though. I mean, my first video I did a long time ago was it was kind of ranty-ish, not quite, but it was my number 1 tip was don't hit the ball into your own goal because it was so common when this game was new. It was like, everybody did it. I did it, and it was nuts. It was just crazy. It was so easy to just hit your ball into your own goal. It's easy because of the angles that you hit it at and stuff, and you're trying to save it when you don't. Oh shoot! I just did that all wrong. So I have not really done the replay stuff. I'm not, this is my first time using a replay for Rocket League, so I don't know all the buttons and controls or anything, so I'm just kind of leaving it on my personal player view with my Back to the Future car. Anyways, shall we get into some tips, huh? I'm sitting here talking a little bit too long. The match is almost over already. Alright, so I have a bunch of notes here. Let's talk about this. So my first note, well, these are not in specific order. Hopefully this will work out. So don't hesitate when you're going for the ball. That's the one thing. You want to be confident. You got to be confident in knowing that you can hit the ball. So my new tip, instead of not hitting the ball into your own goal, my new tip now is to hit the ball. Make sure you contact the ball. Make contact with it and get it. Just hit the ball. If you miss it, what happens is when you miss the ball is it'll throw your teammates off as well if they're not ready for it. They're expecting you to hit, and they're waiting for a pass or a shot, or they're waiting to recover from what you do. So if you miss, they're recovering from the miss as well. And it's tough. It's definitely tough, but you get used to it. It takes practice, and basically you just have to get used to hitting the ball. That's it. Number 1 thing, try not to miss. That's it. And you'll miss less and less, and you'll miss less and less. It's all practice. Just focus on just not missing. Don't worry about how hard you're gonna hit it or how light you're gonna hit it. Hit it. And it'll be tough too, because sometimes when you're doing that, when you're making sure you hit the ball, somebody else can come at you and just hit the ball against you anyways. Part of that is, can you beat the enemy to the ball? Can you beat your opponent to the ball? Some of this can be really dependent on your camera angle. If you notice, my camera angle is really weird, according to most people, and even to me when I first started using this camera angle. The reason I started using my camera angle so close, and I've still adjusted it, like from time to time, like every week or 2 weeks, I'll do a little slight adjustment. You know, I've made some new changes that aren't quite exactly the same as this view right here. Like they took this replays from like a week or two. Well, no wait, the 15th. I don't know what help today is. It could be a couple weeks ago or a week ago or even a couple days. I'm not really sure. But so I have changed my camera angle slightly. It's slightly different from this one. So that's the thing you want to work with as well. Change your camera angles. Test them out. You know, it can be a super huge pain in the butt to work with a new camera angle, but it's worth it. Believe me, when I first started using this camera angle, it took me a week. It took me at least a week to get used to it. But I was watching this one guy who was a platinum player. I would catch him on Twitch sometimes from time to time, and I would see him with a camera angle not exactly like mine. I didn't completely copy him, but I was inspired by it. You know, that's what gave me the idea. I was like, I'll try it. You know, I didn't know why he had his camera angle so whacked out, because it was just completely different than you know, anybody else's. And when you start, how do I go back here? Oh, okay. When you start, oh crap, I don't even know what the hell I was saying. Let me find my other replay here. This is the other developer of February 16th. I don't know what today is. I'm not sure how old these videos are. Where's player view at? Damn it. So, what was I doing here? I was chilling. That's right. I forgot. I was waiting for the ball to get hit right there. Just try your different camera angles. I'm telling you, this one took me a while to get used to and stuff. The main reason, my reason for using the camera so close, and the reason I like it and I prefer it, and I have gone back and forth between being zoomed in and being zoomed out. So I'm still working on that, but I mostly stick zoomed in. I might have been typing there too. I'm not really sure. I was really excited. This was the first time I saw developers. The Wasteland match was the second game that we went against them. So the main reason that I use the close-up camera angle is to hit the ball, and so I don't hit it. Because a lot of time, I'm telling you, when you use the default camera or zoomed-out cameras, you will miss. I mean, maybe not you personally, and I've done this too because lately I did go back to the zoomed-out camera angle. I went back out. I zoomed out. I was looking at the car from a further away distance and all that, and I was missing it more, or not like missing it, but I wasn't beating the enemy to the ball because it's harder to gauge the distance that the enemy is to the ball and yourself. Well, for me, okay, I'll go with me because some people might have a really easy time with that, the distance camera view. For me, I like it close up. So again, that's all preference, man. It's what you like. I'm just telling you why I do it. So for me, I definitely have a better idea of how like if I'm closer to the ball than the opponent. I can tell a lot easier when my camera is up close like this, more so than when I have my camera zoomed out. So when I zoomed it out more, and I forgot too, because I'm always trying to do different things and get better and some kind of improvement, any kind of improvement that I can do. So I zoomed out and I forgot that I zoomed out, and I realized, I noticed, I was like, why am I playing worse? Like there's something off. And then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, my camera angle's not all up close anymore. And then I switched it back and I started playing better again. And I was like, oh, you freaking idiot. You know, I'm an idiot. Like, I'm so dumb for doing that. So definitely that's part of it. You want to mess with the camera angles, man. You know, change up your options. You can change the height. You know, like mine, right now I put the height all the way down to the floor pretty much. And then the angle slightly up above my car. I have gone back and forth between putting the height like one notch above my car, but I think I prefer it overall just all the way down to the ground. You know, but you can do that. You can change the height of the camera from, you know, the position of the ground and from up in the middle of there and stuff like that. You can also change the angle, you know, everything. If you haven't looked, you should definitely mess with your camera angles. That's going to be a major difference. It's gonna change everything for you. And like I said, it seriously took me like a week to get used to this camera angle. It's pretty crazy because like you kind of have to change your play style when you change your camera angle because things change. Like the way you see the game changes, and that's why it helps. I mean, it really helps. Like for me, like I said, I miss the ball a lot less with this camera angle. I just miss it less. It's easier to gauge if I will be able to beat the enemy, the opponent to the ball. Can I get there faster? And that's one of my first tips too. Is like you want to be able to beat them to the ball. Make sure that you pretty much want to you want to know that you can beat them to the ball. As long as you know, or even if you're mostly sure. As long as you're like, is this 50-50 or whatever, but you want to beat the enemy to the ball. Because if you go flying at the ball, right, you go boosting at it, or you go hard, and they beat you to it, that was just a waste. It was a huge waste. So you wanna be aware of that. Can you beat them to the ball? It doesn't matter if you can get a shot, because every hit on the ball is basically a pass as long as you're not shooting the ball into your own goal area, and it happens. It definitely happens. It doesn't happen as often once you get better and better. Like, you definitely don't make those bad hits as often as you do when you start out and stuff. Let me see what else I have written down. So, that's another thing, hesitation. A lot of times you play smart, and it can be tough, but you get used to it. You'll see players, they'll sit on the ball. What they do is they dribble it, right? So you'll see a player he'll stop his car, and the ball will be in front of him, and he won't move. Go at him. If you can hit the ball, if you know for sure, like that's, they're trying to get you to come. But if you know you can hit the ball, if you have enough boost, and you have the close enough distance, so you don't want to boost like super far. You don't want to go super hard. If you know, what I would say for me, like if they're close range, like if they're like maybe 5 car lengths away, anywhere 5 car lengths or less, maybe 4. I haven't really like measured it out or anything. It's just from experience, If you're close enough to the ball, you can definitely go for it. I would say get up in the air, go for the ball. Don't go for the car. That's what I do. A lot of times people get faked out because they see the car's movement. Don't watch where the car's going. Watch where the ball's going and get the ball. That's all you gotta do. What you can do is keep in mind that they'll try to get it by you. Don't see, when I go for the ball, I go for the block usually, most of the time, unless I know I have a shot. I go for a block or a pass. You don't want to take shots that that was nice. You don't want to take shots when there is an enemy right in front of you. If there's an enemy and he can block it, you're better off passing or lightly tapping it. This is all crazy different. There's so many different ways to hit the ball, so many different things to do. And those were the 2 replays with the devs. I don't know what else I have here. This 5-1. This was originally the replay I was gonna show when soft attach. Oops. This was the first replay I was gonna do when I first went in this match. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna use this for my tips video. But then I got those 2 matches with the devs, and I was like, well, I don't know what's. Whoops. Damn it! All these controller options. Oops. Soft attach, hard attach, player view. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. My goodness. Sorry for not being used to the replay stuff. But it's all about judgments. It's all judgment. And for me, I definitely think that it's better. See, like, I think this view is lower. Like, the angle is a little more flat than in the previous 2 replays. Very slight changes. I've done all these slight changes, and I practice all kinds of different views. We definitely should do that. But all right, let me see. Let's see. If you have a hit on the ball and you can beat the enemy, take your shot. It doesn't have to be a shot or a goal. That's my note. And that's what I was basically explaining. I should have just left it at that, right? It can be a pass. You don't have to make every shot, every hit on the ball a shot. It's good to if you can, but I mean, you gotta. As long as the thing is, be aware of where the opponents are. When it's pretty much impossible to get a shot on goal or like a goal shot when there's 2 to 3 goalies. Right? You want to keep the ball alive in the enemy territory. That's all you got to do. You don't necessarily have to make every hit on the ball a shot. Just keep it there. Keep it over there. Bounce it back and forth. Little slight passes. And one thing I've noticed in my gameplay is sometimes I go way too hard constantly. It's something I've tried to learn because I've played with different players, and you'll learn different things. And sometimes you might play hard and too hard, and you never stop to go slow. So that's the thing too. You want to mix it up. You go hard when it's the right time to. You go hard when you know you have a hit on it, and then slow it down. Completely slow it down. Stop. Stick the ball until that ball moves. Another thing is keep your boost. Use your boost smartly. You can always, of course, run around picking up boosts and stuff, and I definitely suggest picking up the little boost too, especially when you run out low. When you run low, try to stick the ball as much as possible, but know when you need to back out. Like if you do not have enough boost to keep that ball going, back out. Back out slowly though. Pick up a little boost. Make sure you're going to. I would say, go towards your own goal. Flip back to your own goal, and get ready for any kind of blocks that you might need. It just depends where the ball is. It depends on the position. If the ball's, you'll know what I mean. I'm sure. Just make sure you're just using boosts smartly. Don't just burn it all. You don't want to burn it all and have none for one single hit on it. You want to, basically what happens if you use it right, you'll use half your boost getting to the ball and taking a shot, and then you'll have half a boost bar to slowly kind of dribble it around the goal. And I don't mean dribble, I mean, not like literally dribble. If you're not, used to dribbling. I'm not a big dribbler yet. Still, after the bunch of hours I have on this game, but just keeping in the enemy goal area. If you have to keep taking little shots, you can take slow ones. It's kind of hard to explain, but kind of like right here, what's going on, where the ball's just bouncing back and forth, and you just keep that pressure on. That's it. It's all about keeping the pressure on it and keeping that ball in the enemy goal area. That's pretty cool. At least they'll play it slow. Yeah, for me, the hardest thing to do is to play it slow because I forget. You want to keep the pressure on as much as possible, but you definitely need to back off at the right time. It's easy to mess it up when you get momentum. When you're going super fast, or you've got the speed, it's hard to stop and slow down. But that's what you need to do. It's what you should do. If you're if you're going at it hard and everything's working out and everything's going smooth, you think you can keep going. But no, once you get to the part where you need to slow down. And for me, I think I mentioned this already. I angle usually when I go for the ball in enemy territory. What I do is I go for the block, unless I know I have a clear shot. I did mention when you're going to hit the ball, hit block it. Hit it. Try to get a shot, but also angle your car in a position where you'll block it or try to block it as well, because they're going to hit it back into you. Most of the time, the ball's going to get hit straight back into you, and that's what you need to be ready for. A lot of times, people will go too hard, and I do it too still. Sometimes we'll go too hard on the ball, and we don't slow down, and it just comes straight at us, and it's blocked, and then we're nowhere near able to save it. So you got to be aware of that too. Let's see. Never just hit the ball once if you have enough boost to keep the momentum. That's the thing too. A lot of times, especially early on, until you get used to it, you'll boost the ball once, and it's a good thing too, because you want to pass it. You want to pass the ball. But if you have enough boost or anything, if you have the momentum, if you have enough boost, and let's say for example you get the ball and it's in your goal. And the reason I kept that replay is because I don't know if you could notice it while watching, but the game started good. I think they were beating us 0-1, and then I don't know, what the hell's going on? I'm trying to rewind it all the way. Jeez, is it gonna rewind or what? Jeez, I don't know. Yeah, it started like a good match, and then we just dominated them. It was like the 1-1 tie score. And after that, it just was downhill for them. Because it started good. Like, I remember this match. I was like, oh, man, how the hell did we come back and just destroy them? Like, that's why I saved this replay. Because, it was 5-1, but it started so good. Like, it was a back and forth kind of thing. Anyway, so, hitting the ball once can work. But oftentimes, you'll notice that your team is nowhere near you. And you pop the ball, like, into the enemy goal zone. Or you're over there and you're in there and you hit the ball once. And your team is just sitting in the goal, Your team is just in your goal area, and you're like, what the hell? Where's my team? What's going on? So keep pressure on as long as you can. As long as you can keep pressure on the ball. If you have an angle on it, keep the pressure on it. If you lose your angle, back out. Go back towards your own goal. Pick up some little bits of boost or a full boost on the way back. Always keep an eye on the ball. But as soon as you lose an angle, like if you haven't completely lost it and you can slow play it, keep at it. But definitely hit the ball more than once if you can, or you know, if you see a teammate in front of you that has it, that's all good too. Another one: don't just sit in the goal. All right, if you're defending, never ever just sit in your goal. Don't just sit in your goal. What you can do is, if you don't want to play half court, because it can be tough. If you play half court, a lot of times the ball can go right over your head and straight in the goal. It happens, especially a good shot, a lucky good shot. And the reason it's lucky is because it just straight up cleared all the way across. Sometimes a good hit, well, most good hits will, you know, it depends until you get friggin' to platinum players, which I haven't been to yet, but until you go against like the super pro players, you will be mid-court a lot. As far as like hitting the ball, you know, good hits happen a lot and they get full clears, but playing midfield is usually a pretty easy thing to do. And I mean like a little bit behind the line, right? A little bit behind the line of the half court. If you're just sitting in your goal, you're basically doing no good for your team. Unless you get lucky and the ball just comes straight to you. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much the only time you'll get a good block, is if the ball just comes straight to you while you're sitting in the goal. Other than that, you're not really helping much. You know, you'll see. If you don't believe me, you'll see. If you have a goalie that does that and just sits in the goal the whole time, and you're sitting here struggling to pass the ball and get it out midfield, and it's 2 against 3, and you just can't do it because that one guy sits in the goal, and then it continuously goes right over their head into the goal. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So if you can, like right there, the position that I was just in, you know, you don't have to be midfield. You can be like midfield, you know, be like halfway between midfield and your goal. That's another good spot. It's better if you possibly can to be midfield, a little bit behind the halfway mark, but it's also a good idea to be halfway between your goal and half of the field. This gives you room, you know, to, if you have boost, it gives you room to beat somebody through the ball that's coming into your goal, and room to possibly save it. So you're an in-between kind of thing. Midfield, the reason I say midfield is better, I think being a little bit closer to midfield, is because a lot of blocks go there. If it's not a full clear, blocked shots go midfield. And if you're closer to your goal, you can't even make it to those in time to help your team get it back in an enemy goal area. It really depends how the game's going. You know, it just really depends how the game's going. You'll be able to, you definitely want to change up the style. You'll notice, like if the ball's going over your head, or if your team, how your team's playing. That's another big major factor, is the different teams that you end up on. If you're not with friends and you're not with people that you're used to and you're not voice communicating, which is what I do. I play solo like a lot. So, you know, you don't have that communication to know who's where. And even then, even when you have communication, you should be aware of what's going on the field. You can it's hard to say. I would it's easier to expect your teammates to miss, really. To get better, that's one thing that you might want to do, is just expect your teammates to miss the ball. And it doesn't mean to steal the shot from them, because that's another tip of mine. Don't steal the ball from your teammates. If your teammates have it and they're near it, unless, here another thing, unless you know for sure that you can help your teammate out. Like, because sometimes your teammate will struggle with the ball. Sometimes the ball will be right next to them and they just don't have the car angle. They don't have the angle to hit it properly. So if you can beat them and the enemy to the ball, then it's probably a pretty good idea to go for it, right? If you're going to beat everybody, you're just going to clear it, then that's a good idea. But if you're not going to beat your teammate or the enemy to the ball, then don't go for it. Let your teammate struggle with it for a little bit, wait for the block, wait for the pass, and then go for it. But again, don't expect your teammates to always hit it. You can later on, you know, when you know you're playing with good players. And what I mean is, even if they miss it, don't try to steal the shot from them. You know, be ready for the miss, be ready for it to come back here. It really depends. It's all being aware of where everybody is on the field. Is the opponent there? Is your opponent going to get there? Which is most likely the case. It's most likely that your opponent will be there ready to block the struggled hit on the ball and stuff like that. So just that's what you got to be aware of. Let's see what else we have. Don't try to shoot from your goal. Yeah, here's what happens a lot too. A lot of people they wait for those very simple block the shot and clear it all the way back across the entire field for a free goal. Don't do that. It won't work against better players. It can work. It still happens. Like, you can definitely still do it, but it won't always work. And it's just a bad idea overall in general. What you want to do if you're blocking a shot from your own goal, definitely take a shot if you can, you know, but don't try to make every hit on the ball a shot, especially when you have opponents in your goal area. The last thing you want to do is try to take a shot during a save when you have opponents on you. Like, if you're full clear, right, like you have no worries, you can easily get the ball across and take a shot, yeah. But a lot of times what I'll see happen, and this will happen no matter what, you'll see it too, is people, it kind of comes naturally, right? You want to go for that goal, you want to shoot it. But if you're saving the ball, you need to save it. That should be your only worry. You should not be worried about where you're hitting it, as long as you're not hitting it back into your own goal. That's the thing. I think at this point, I gotta just forget about that whole thing, because that is, used to be so common, but it shouldn't be that common anymore. When the game was new, it was nuts. Anyways, just make sure you hit the ball out of your goal. That's like the number one thing. Because a lot of times you'll see people will try to take a shot while saving it, and it'll be blocked right back into their own goal. It happens all the time, and you can tell by the angle that they're hitting the ball, right? Like, so for example, I'll tell you exactly like the perfect example. You don't, if you're in your goal, you don't want to hit the ball center. You're passing it to the enemy team is what you're doing. You're passing it directly to them, especially if none of your teammates have a good position to recover from that center. That's a pass. That is a centered pass over your own goal, and it's most likely going to come straight back in. Again, it's about being aware of where the team is on both sides. But for the most part, if you're in your goal and you're saving the ball, you just need to knock it out. Don't worry about taking a shot. Don't try to center it. You know, just knock it the hell out and get it against the wall is usually the best idea, no matter what you do. If you can't get a shot, clear it. That's all it's about, is getting that ball out of there. All right, let's see. Always pressure one. Let's see, I got that. Oh, I wrote that down twice. Okay, I'm just looking over my notes real quick. Looks like I basically wrote yeah, it's very important to keep pressure on the ball. Very important. But it's also important to know when you can. You know, you want to pressure the ball as much as possible, but once you run out of pressure, you back out. That's what your team's about, you know. It's different 1v1. But if you play threes like I do, and even twos, I guess, twos are still different. But overall, you always want to keep as much pressure on as you can while you can. Once you lose that pressure, once you know that you have nothing left, and you'll get used to it. You'll definitely get used to knowing and judging when you have to back out. But always try to pressure it if you can, and you'll see. I mean, like, and oh, another thing I didn't mention this. I forgot about this. So we're talking about keeping the pressure and managing your boost properly, right? Try to keep enough boost if you're in the enemy goal. Take it slowly. This is why I say take it slowly, and this is something I've messed up repeatedly as well. I've done some mistakes for it, and I'll forget how I'm playing. It's like I was saying, like, you just get in a rush, you get the momentum, and you just keep going on that momentum, and it's just gone because it's already gone, and you're still not even caught up. Manage your boost. So when you're in the enemy goal and you're trying to take shots and stuff, try to keep a little bit of boost. Even, I'm telling you, those little tiny bits of boost, those little 8 boosts or whatever, those can definitely help for a small little boost jump or anything, or even a little quick burst of speed back to your goal. That's the thing you need to worry about, is if you're in your enemy goal area, you want to be ready to have to boost back to your goal for a save. 'Cause sometimes those clears can be really tough. And it really depends, again, on your team. Is there somebody center? Are all three of you on the ball, you know, or you and your teammate if you're doing doubles, you know? Either way, you pretty much always want someone. Like I said here, like I'm trying to. You can see us. We're kind of all of three of us have been inside the half court here against the enemy. But then this guy went back. They both went back. But that's all positioning and stuff. For a while there, we were all three of us were inside the half court, you know, the half court kind of a thing in enemy territory, and it was good. It worked out because we were able to keep the pressure on the ball, and it was going back and forth, bouncing, you know, off the walls and stuff, and it worked out. Didn't get the goal, but we were also safe. They didn't get a full clear. They didn't get it all the way back to our goal, like in one single shot, which happens, and that's what you got to be aware of. So, you know, always like just manage your. It's tough. It can be tough. You can definitely run out of it. You know, use it for every shot that you can try to take. You know, get little tiny bits of boost up in the air. When you jump up in the air, give yourself a little bit of a boost, and you know, to get up a little higher. You don't have to you don't have to full blast turbo at the ball. You know what? Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I was doing replays. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll do some. I'll show you. I'll just do 1v3. Probably get my butt kicked here a little bit, but anyways. Alright. So a little bit of boost, right? I can't do it here. Yeah, it's not really. It's hard to do it when it's not up in the air. So okay. Oh shoot. So let's say the ball's, oh, you know, I'll just show you here. If the ball's up in there, just a little bit of boost. You don't need a lot of boost to get up in there, right? Like, let's see. I don't usually do training. I see, you know, you see all the pros going to training and stuff, and I have not reached pro level. So, anyways, so a little bit of boost. You don't need a lot of boost to get up. If you have like 8 to 12 boost, which is basically one of these, I think one of these little things gives you 12 boost. One of these little things, I think it's 12 boost. So, anyways, if you're in the goal, let's just put the ball over here. If you're in the goal and everybody's blocking it out, and the ball's a little bit up in the air, like that, and everybody's going at it, just a little tiny bit of boost is all you need for a little, you know, a little push. That's all you need, is just a push. And the reason the boost helps is for blocking. Like like say there's a goalie right there, right, and he's coming out to hit it, and it's up in the air. Remember, you gotta picture the ball up in the air. I'm not like so pro that I can set it up myself. I'm not used to doing that kind of stuff. But if the ball's up in the air, and you just give it a little bit of just a slight boost to beat them to it, just a little tap of the boost button. Anyways, let me see. I think that's all the tips that I should have. Teamwork. If a teammate already has a shot, don't steal it from them. Yeah, unless you can see your teammate is struggling with the ball. And this, I got an. Is he moving? Oh, that's right. Yeah, is your teammate moving slow? Like, and sometimes they're setting up a dribble. That's the thing. You have to know. You have to look at their car angle to the ball. Like so, if the enemy goal, for example, is exactly where I'm like my car is facing, and the ball's behind me, and I'm hitting it at the side and stuff, and I'm having trouble because I can't get the right angle on it. You know, this happens when you go for a shot and then you miss it, it gets blocked, and the enemy blocks it out, and then you're trying to get the ball right. If you see your teammate struggling with it, then you can come over, like you come over, you just pop it out, you pop it over past them, and that's fine. But you know, you can tell. Usually by car position, you can usually tell. So if the car is behind the ball, right? If his car is behind the ball, then he's probably trying to dribble it. He's probably just like, oh, you know, whatever, dribble it. Damn it. So that's the thing. It's you should be able to tell most of the time. Let's see. Do you have a clear shot? Yeah. Okay. Don't assume your hit on the ball will completely clear it. Oh yeah. I think this is a good tip actually. Don't always assume that your hit on the ball is going to clear it. Like I said earlier, like a lot of times you want to make sure, or be as sure as possible that you'll beat the opponent to the ball. You want to be as sure as possible that you'll beat them to it. And even if you think you will, they're gonna try to block it. They're going to try to block it. So when you hit the ball, don't just assume it's gonna go exactly where you want it to go. Be ready that it's gonna be blocked. So a lot of times, this is something that I discovered about myself too recently when I was doing my transition of new playstyles and stuff. I would hit the ball and I'd be going with my momentum, right? I would just momentum, boom, 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 go, 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 whatever. And I'd be going too hard is what would happen. I would go too hard at the ball and then lose complete momentum. And then I'd be in the enemy goal while the ball is already back at my goal. The ball's all, and then, you know, and then my teammates, it's all, of course, it's not like, it's not like your teammates can't get the ball or anything, but if they can't, you gotta remember, like, I'm talking from like 3v3 kind of a perspective. There's gonna be back and forth, so you just want to make sure that whatever momentum you have doesn't screw you. You know, you don't want to expect the ball to, or yeah, you pretty much don't want to expect the ball to go where you think it's gonna go, unless you can see, like, hey, there's no enemy car right in front of me. Obviously, it's gonna go where you want it to go. But if you have an enemy car in front of you, anybody, it doesn't matter where they're at. They could be coming mid-air. They could come from half court and in the middle of the air and just block your shot. And if you're still going with your momentum, you know, you'll lose it. You'll lose everything, and then you'll be out of position. So go hard when you need to go hard, and go slow when you need to go slow, and you'll be able to tell. Pretty much. Here, let me see. So if the ball's over here, it's in half court, right? Go hard. If you need to clear it over to the enemy goal, you go hard until you get in the enemy goal, and then you slow it down. Slow it back down when you're in the enemy goal. But definitely, like, so if you're midfield and all that, you're passing, you can go hard. You know, it depends on, you know, of course, still positioning always matters. Positioning of your enemy, your opponents, and positioning of your teammates. You know, depending on that's always going to affect how hard you go. But so if I go hard here, and it's in now it's here, you don't go so hard anymore. Slow it down. Just slow it down. I did miss that on purpose, just so you know. Just slow it down when you're in the goal. The same thing for it's the same thing as pressuring your enemy team, right? Because they're going to be here trying to save it. So just slow it down. That's it, man. I know this video definitely went on a lot longer than I was expecting it to. Hopefully you were able to watch it. Please, if I wasn't very specific on some things, I'm checking my notes, and I pretty much talked about everything I wanted to, and I meant to just do real quick notes, and I might revise the video, and I might do it again sometime where I just really just get to the point and just do quick notes. I also, maybe someday, if I ever actually get good enough at training and drilling or whatever, maybe I'll be able to do, like, you know, editing and show, or just go to the training and really show what I'm talking about. But I don't have that much control as far as dribbling, popping up the ball. I mean, I can do all that. I can dribble, I can pop the ball, but I mostly just do the passing and you know, I don't know, pretty general, decent player stuff. That sucks. I'm always thinking about it. It's like, man, I've got as many hours as some of the major pros out there, but I'm still not nearly as good. And I think a lot of it, again, I personally think it has a lot to do based on the teams that you play with, because it's really hard to get better when you keep playing with, like, average teams, and I'm not, like, trashing my teams, like, I just mean, like, it's hard to become a better player when you play with bad people. You know what I mean? You can't use all the tricks you've learned, because you have to go back. I'm not even kidding. You have to go back to a previous play style. Like, you have to play as if you're a bronze player with some people. You have to play differently, or at least play, like, treating it as if you're playing with bad players, which means basically playing more defensively. Because what happens is, like, you'll see that the people, like I was talking about, where people that just sit in the goal, it still happens. It happens a lot in these solo queues. I don't know how often it happens in full teams. For me, I've been in a couple teams where nobody was in the goal, and it was amazing, and it's just like everybody knew how to play, And how to rotate is basically like I was saying, you keep the pressure on as long as you can, and then you back out. Or if you know when it's obvious, like when your teammates come in and they have the pressure on, then you back out and you rotate, you move positions. So if a teammate or two teammates come in and they're obviously hitting the ball clear, you know they have better hits on it, and you're a little bit lower on boost, and your camera angle is off. You don't have the camera angle on it. You know, you back out. Let them do it. That's the thing. A lot of it's all based on your teams. Oh, this is a Maxi Play replay. Cool. Maxi Play is a good buddy of mine. That guy's awesome. He's also a really good player for a newbie. I would say for a newbie. I really don't mean that as an insult. He's really good. And I think he's probably better by now too. He's been playing a lot. My friends stopped playing with me because I raged so hard. I've definitely gotten better at not raging, but I still do rage. It's just it's something I've always done with multiplayer. It sucks. I don't like it. It's horrible. Anyways, so I had a rant and rave. I love these guys though. Like I love them. You know, I was playing with friends that I really love, and they would take it personally. And I'm like, no, I'm just mad at the game and mad at losing. You know, whatever. I'm not mad at you really. Like I'm not mad at you personally. But anyways, so yeah, it's tough to get better at the game when you're playing with bad teams because you can't play the way you need to play. You know, like everything changes. Your play style has to change. You can't learn when your team sucks. That's pretty much how it is. You cannot get better when your team suck. So it's hard. It's hard when you solo queue. It's really hard. But it's cool when you're on a good team, and you can pretty much always tell when your team is good. And they'll still make mistakes, but you can always tell when a team is good compared to a bad team. Like, of course, sometimes doesn't, not always, but sometimes you might have a really bad start in a match. You might be 3-0, and then you'll come back. You know, you might be 3-0 in the first minute. The first minute, they just scored the crap out of you. The opponent just destroyed your face. But it is possible to come back. It definitely is. It's easily possible to come back. Especially when you know that happened in the first minute. Obviously something went wrong, something maybe luck or whatever, but something went completely wrong. So anyways, please let me know if there's any specific things that I might have missed. I went over all the notes that I have for now. There might be some things that I forgot, but the notes that I have are pretty much all the important things. And I've been taking these notes down over for like the past week or two. As I was playing the game, I would think of something and be like, oh yeah, I should write that down. You know, like, so there, believe me, all the notes, I did not expect the video to be this long. I kind of expected it to be like 5 to 10 minutes, which is why I was glad I had those 2 dev replays with the developers. That was really cool. Oh yeah, and there wasn't a scoreboard. I just realized that right now, there was no scoreboard in the replay, so I couldn't show you their names. But I did screenshot them. I screenshotted the end of both matches to show that it was really, I couldn't believe it, man. It's awesome. Anyways. Again, thanks so much, guys. Hopefully this is... I imagine... I haven't watched my first tips video in a while, but I'm going to imagine this one is much better as far as, like, specifically how to play and what to look out for and stuff. Because the first one was mostly just, like, don't hit the damn ball in your own goal, you know? Anyways, alright. I'll see you guys around. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching my video. Please leave any comments or questions or anything. I am pretty experienced with the game. I'm not Cronovi or a tournament player or anything like that, but I'm pretty damn good at the game, man. I play on PC, PS4, and Xbox. Let me know if you want to play. Please forgive me if I rage at you. I am raging less and less these days, but it still comes out, you know, especially when we lose repeatedly. It'll come out. But I mostly have worked on it. I pretty much just learned to just shut my damn mouth and just shut up. Just shut up, stop being a dumbass jerk, you know. Like, anyways, all right. I'll see you guys around. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. Oh, you know what? Actually, I guess we'll finish up this this overtime here. I didn't realize how good a game this was with Max. I don't know how long ago this was, but that was pretty cool. I ended up 1-1 with an overtime. Crazy. All right. That's why I was using the truck. I used to use the truck a lot, man. I love the truck. But now I use the Ripper more. The Back to the Future car is actually really good. Oh, that's the score. Yeah. Boo, we lost. Boo. It's all Maxi Blade's fault, I'm sure. Crap. I want to see what day that replay was. Anyways, that was cool. I didn't even realize I had a replay with Maxi Blade. That's awesome. So anyways, I have like over 1,000 hours played combined with PS4 and PC, and I'm playing on Xbox, although I don't really like it so much on Xbox because I do not like the Xbox controller, especially for this game. It's weird. Like the PS4 controller is so smooth with this game. It's probably also because I have 1,000 hours played on the freaking PS4 controller, but the Xbox. My main problem with the Xbox version is that it ranked play on the times that I'm on, which I'm on early morning. Like I'm on early morning because of my new work schedule. Oh, whoops. I'm on early morning, like in between 1 and 5 and, you know, whatever, just really early morning. So what I've noticed on Xbox, especially since the game is new, is that there's nobody playing ranked. I'm not even exaggerating, but when I try to go play ranked on 3v3 solo queue, there's 50 to 80 players on when I'm on. Like when I'm awake and trying to play, there's 50 to 80 players. And you go to PS4 or PC, and there's thousands. Or well, I guess ranked 3v3, it's usually like around 800, like 500 to 800 people. So it's not like, it's a pretty big difference. It's not like millions of players over thousands playing solo ranked at that time, but it's definitely a huge difference. And obviously the PS4 and PC crossplay really helps with that as well. I think most players are probably PS4 though. Well, maybe not. Oh, there are a lot of players on PC. Anyways, so that's why I don't play it more on Xbox. It kind of made me mad. I was like, oh shoot, this sucks, man. Because I love playing ranked. It's frustrating as hell, but you know, it's also more worth it because it's a progression kind of a thing with it and stuff, rather than playing normal. And it's the same thing too. Like for a while, you could tell when you were playing ranked and when you weren't. But now there's so many good players in non-ranked matches that you might as well play ranked. Anyways, yeah. So right now it sucks on Xbox. As far as the time that I'm on, I'm not sure if it's like that much better in like a later evening kind of a thing or whatever. But it sucks for me for right now. I'm like, damn it, because I really want to play some ranked on the Xbox. Alright, anyway, so I did go on a little bit. I just want to talk really quickly about my experience with the Xbox version and why I don't play it more right now. I was able to get a couple teams, which was pretty cool. So, anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.